What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. What's up? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Boy, last episode was a fun one, huh? Oh, man. I really pissed off the Groypers, bro. Those Groypers are really upset. They really pulled out their top-of-the-line bot army to come after me on that last episode. It's so funny because some of them are so obviously bots. You can read the fucking comments and they're like, why are you deleting all of our comments? And you can literally see that no comments have been deleted. I deleted 0 comments. Oh, why are you deleting the so they haven't programmed the bots to be able to read the other comments? Oh, boys. But yeah, I expected that. And to be honest, it doesn't bother me. It actually makes me feel like I hit the mark, you know? I really, really hit the mark, and it really upset them. Because rather than addressing, which I'm going to basically go over all the reasons why Nick Fuentes is a huge problem for the America First movement, and most likely a Fed. We're going to go into all that in detail today. Because, yeah, God, man, I felt like I really hit the bullseye with these fucks. And they're in a tizzy right now. They're in a fucking tizzy. And yeah, you have more bots than me. That's not a victory. Smart people can see through that. So flood my fucking comment section with bots, please. Please give me the engagement. That helps me. I love it. But you could, if you are enjoying the show, smash the thumbs up and help counteract all the Groyper bots that will show up if they're not already here. What's up, everybody? John? I don't know what's going on with John, but John, this is not a good time to be engaging in the comment section, John. Poor John's over there talking to the fucking Groyper bots in the comment section, not even realizing what's going on, trying to be nice to him, and they're just, being dicks to him. John, you might want to take a break for a few episodes until things calm down, bro. Because things might get a little heated in the comment section and in the chat, John. So just, take a break from it, John. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing in the chat? Hope you guys are all doing good. It's a shuffle game with the comments for real. Yeah, I didn't block any comments. I didn't block a single fucking comment because, to me, leaving that for people to see really reveals who these fucking people are. These people do not give one fuck about the America First movement. If they gave a fuck about, let me set this straight. The reason I care so much about this is because I actually care about the America First movement. Because I actually care about actually getting things done and not just grifting to a bunch of dumbasses to get views. And if Nick Dumbass Fuentes becomes the head of America First, it's over with. It's done. It's not a palatable message to the mass population. It will be laughed at. It will be considered just another fucking far fringe, far right, racist fucking movement. And it will never be adopted by the people that you need to adopt that message in order to make it actually last and actually be, something that has power at the end of the day. And it's perfect. Go look up COINTELPRO. Maybe some of you guys don't know what the fuck COINTELPRO is. Let me read it to you, because this is, to me, what's going on with Nick Fuentes. COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program, was a series of covert and often illegal operations run by the FBI in 1956 to 1971. Spoiler alert. I'm sure they just changed the name. But yeah, I'm sure they stopped doing that in 71, right? Its goal was to surveil, infiltrate, discredit, and disrupt the domestic political organizations deemed subversive, particularly those involved in civil rights, anti-war, communist, socialist, and other activist movements. This is what Nick Fuentes is. Now, you can talk all the shit you want about Tucker, and he's got to come answer the CIA fucking questions about his father. He's got to address that. But he's absolutely right about what Nick Fuentes is. 100% right. He's a Fed. The criticism of Israel is very, very, how can I put this? It's, I think, important to criticize Israel, right? There's nothing wrong with criticizing Israel. The problem is when you get off the path of going, hey, we actually need to fix our own issues. It's like, this is the best analogy I could think of, right? It's like your wife is a fucking whore, okay? And she's going around sleeping with every fucking dude in the city. And you, as a dumbass, decide, oh, I guess I'm going to go fight all the guys that are sleeping with my wife. Oh, fuck all these dudes who are sleeping with my wife. How dare you? How dare you? So you're going to go fight the guy that like went into the bathroom with your wife for a quickie because your wife is spreading her legs to everybody that comes around. And you're going to go fight all the dudes instead of addressing your whore wife with their legs open to everybody. It's very convenient, dude. It's very convenient. And what I want to do is I want to address the whore of a wife who won't stop opening her fucking legs to everybody who wants to get it in. That's what I want to address. The Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's Jewish power, it's Jewish. That is just the perfect way to get us off of the right path, to get us into this fucking little side path that takes us down this other weird place where it's all about the Jews and not about how do we clean up our federal government. How do we hold our federal elected politicians? How do we hold our political class accountable for selling out the country? Because if it's not Israel, then it's somebody else, dude. That's the reality, right? If it's not the fucking mailman that's fucking your whore wife, then it's the janitor down the street. It's the guy walking by going for a jog. So you got to focus on where the fucking problem is. And you have to understand optics and how you get a message out to the general population and not be considered a fucking fringe lunatic, which is all that Nick Fuentes is going to do for us.
How about no FEMA help without a pledge to Israel?
It's all stupid. How about we just actually do America first and we stop sending money overseas and we stop getting involved in all this shit and we just make good trade deals and we go, well, all of our money that's going up, we're done. We're done sending you money. All of that is legitimate. All of the gripes about Israel is legitimate. Okay? It's all legitimate. It's about how do you actually solve the problem? Do you solve the problem by ranting like fucking Adolf Hitler about the Jews, the Jews? We're going to get into it, dude. We're going to get into it. Let's start with this because I just want to really introduce you guys to what I think is going on here. And this is one of the best videos that sums it up. It's going to sum up basically what I've been talking about. And it's by XLP. And it's called Nick Fuentes is a Federal Informant. So let's get to this one first, just so you guys can understand where I'm coming from here. And even if he wasn't a federal informant, which I think he is, even if he wasn't, he's still bad for the movement because he fringes out the movement. He makes the message not palatable to the general population. He allows anybody who's got the same views, like everybody that's pointing out the same problems now, all of us, even the ones who aren't obsessed with the Jews and realize the problem is in our own fucking house that needs to be cleaned up, all of us are going to be discredited by this little dumb fucking kid who's a Fed, in my opinion. But let's go. Let's watch this so you guys can see. Maybe if you have ears, you can hear. Maybe if you have eyes, you can see. We'll see. But let's watch this. This is XLP. I think it's a fantastic job of breaking down the Nick Fuentes problem and why he's most likely a Fed. Let's get to it.
Can we just establish that anybody who screamed, let's storm the Capitol, I can think of two people who did, who was not arrested, didn't spend time in jail.
Was defended by Democrats in the Congress.
Yes. But he wasn't alone. There's another prominent person who did that as well, as I know you know. Didn't get arrested, didn't go to jail. I mean, what can we conclude from that?
Guy 5,569 super chatted $2.96. If I said women are more emotional than men, would you flip out and say it's not all of them? Why do you do that with this group? Nick is right.
Yeah, Nick is right. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, you go follow your leader, Nick. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how that works out when the midterms come around and they start playing all the fucking clips of him telling his audience that they should murder and kill and die for him. Take a pledge. We'll get to that in a little bit. Or about how fucking we should actually execute all the non-Christians in this country. Yeah. Just wait till those clips start coming out, you fucking idiots. You're falling for the watered down bullshit that he puts out there, all the shit that's going viral on X, all the watered down bullshit. And then all these people who are kissing his ass right now, you wait. You wait until you're all fucking banned off the internet because you fucking supported an actual guy calling for the death of anybody who's not a Christian in this country. What? An actual guy who's having his audience pledge to rape, murder, and die for him. It's all a joke though, guys. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. Oh man. Look, it's common sense. If you can't see it at this point, if you can't see how this guy is going to discredit the entire movement and kill America first if he's allowed to become the head of it, then you're not thinking with common sense. You're not. That's just the reality. Thank you for the super chat, though.
Keep moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back.
All right, so this is him on January 6th, ordering his followers, his children followers, to storm the Capitol. When even Alex Jones had the fucking common sense to see, oh my God, they're shooting tear gas. There's people fighting with the police. Guys, turn around. This is a setup, which if you ask me, January 6th was a setup. I don't know if Trump was involved in the setup. I don't think he was. I don't know. But I know that, in my opinion, there was a lot of agitators put there by fucking intelligence agencies, a lot of feds. You got the fucking, the Ray Epps of the world. You got the Antifa types who were there dressed in MAGA, who started the fights with the crowds. It was a setup to make MAGA look bad, to make the America First crowd look like extremists that are dangerous so that they can turn them into a domestic terrorist group. It didn't really work in the long run, but did they fucking try? Yes, they did. And Nick Fuentes, here he is, pushing everybody right into that fucking pot, pushing them right into that fucking op, dude. He might have been a Fed at this point. In my opinion, he might have already turned Fed. I don't know, but let's watch this video.
Keep marching and don't relax, never relax.
My vendetta with Nick Fuentes is what I just said. I believe in America First. I want to see America First succeed. And if you let retards like this become the voice of America First, it's done. And if you don't see that, you're not thinking with the straight fucking head, dude. A lot of people have no problem solving skills anymore. You're not approaching this as a problem that needs to be solved. You're just screaming at the problems. There's a problem here. There's a problem there. Oh, it's the Jews. The Jews are buying other. It's like, that's not how you fucking fix a problem, dude. Yeah, let's get back to this video. I want to play this video. And a lot of his children followers, they got in a lot of trouble for it. Did Nick? So guys, next time Nick tells you to do something like this as he's leaving the scene, as he's getting in his fucking limo and driving away and ordering you to storm the Capitol, you're going to listen? You're going to be a good little boy and listen? Well, you probably still will, won't you?
This is Nick Fuentes on January 6th, 1 month after receiving a $250,000 donation from a foreign source that would take his own life that very same day.
Oh yeah, that's okay. No, nothing to see there, guys. Nothing to see there.
If you're unfamiliar, Nick is a political streamer that can be best understood as the right-wing version of Hassan Piker. While hundreds of regular people, and several far less notable influencers, including those who never even stepped foot in the Capitol, have all been punished for their involvement on...
That's the other... Well, he was never in the Capitol. He never actually went into the Capitol. No, he just ordered his followers to storm the Capitol and ignore the police. He sent them into an obvious violent situation where one of them got shot and killed. Well, I don't know if she was a Nick Fuentes supporter, but he does not give a fuck about his followers. And then you got Owen Schroyer here, who didn't even go into the fucking Capitol. It wasn't stoking up people to go in. I don't know if he was doing like Alex Jones and like realizing the danger and telling people to turn around and go and leave. But no, they went after him. But not Nick, though. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, guys.
January 6th.
I'm sure.
Somehow, Fuentes has been able to evade any and all charges. Multiple of Nick's followers, the latest being Tristan Sarter, have been imprisoned after following Nick's instructions to invade the Capitol. Brandon Straka, who never even stepped foot in the Capitol building, had his home raided by the FBI for just filming a video from the Capitol steps.
Yeah, P Money says the collective IQ of the Fuentes chalksuckers is under 100. They're not even smart racists, dude. They're not even smart. Like, if your whole fucking thing is racism and you're just mad about, you want to save the white race, then you're not even doing a service to that fucking movement. Because when you come out and you make those type of statements, like, smart racists know to dog whistle at least, They're not that dumb. They're not that dumb. When you come out and you fucking make it the head of your message, you're an idiot. You're not even a smart racist. You're not even a smart racist. You're doing exactly what the enemy would want you to do to destroy your own movement. It's too convenient. It's too convenient.
Where somebody could be heard shouting "Go, go, go," despite the fact that the speaker was off camera, and both Straka and his family deny that the voice was his. He was still forced to plead guilty to 3 years of probation. Owen Schroyer of InfoWars didn't even say anything to the crowd or approach the entrance to the building, but still served 2 months in prison for simply standing outside the Capitol. If you don't believe me, you can read through his entire case yourself here. It's only a couple of pages. Yet somehow, the self-proclaimed single largest political
Someone says Nick is smart. Yeah, he is smart. Nick is smart. And when I hear Nick talk about the issues that I agree with, a lot of the America First issues, I'm like, yeah, he's right. He's right. But then he makes it all about the Jews and about white power and we got to save the white race. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're not serious about this actually becoming a real movement that can actually affect change. Because when you attach that racist, that Jew message to it, you discredit the fucking message. I guess you don't understand that, some of you guys. I think a lot of you Groypers are actually bots. It's become very clear. They're deploying bots to make this movement look more powerful. And it's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move from the fucking powers that be, who would love nothing more than to see America First go away because it's the biggest threat to their little fucking scheme of enriching themselves off taxpayer dollars. Wonderful. I mean, you couldn't have done it any better. You know, you couldn't. You couldn't discredit and destroy a movement any better than getting somebody like this to be the head of the movement.
In the entire country, who the government has...
And by the way, he's not the head of the movement. What's pissing me off is I'm seeing everybody, all of a sudden the algorithms, Nick Fuentes are everywhere. The algorithms just love him all of a sudden. Nick, it's just, I don't know if it's because all the bots are pushing his message to the top and it's like if you have a message of like, hey, Nick is, he's a problem. Let's look at this shit here that points to him probably being, probably working with the Fed. All that shit gets buried. But all the shit of Nick sounding so base and that shit goes viral. The shit of him telling his followers to pledge to murder, rape, and die for him, that shit doesn't go viral, though. It's weird how that works. And it's smart. Again, if you want to discredit a movement, you don't even have to do anything. You have control of the algorithms. You just push idiots like this to the top of the algorithm so they become the face of the movement. And now the movement is a joke and discredited among the normies, which, believe it or not, you need the normies to actually have power, you idiots. All right, I'm going to stop interrupting.
Every incentive to throw the book at hasn't had even a single charge brought
Nick
against him.
didn't start shit.
The DOJ was actually working on a conspiracy indictment
Nick thinks he's just going to come out and be like, I am America First. America First is me. No, dude, you're an egotistical piece of shit who only cares about himself and cares about how much money you can. Nick's going to walk away with a ton of money and he's going to leave all of you fucks just sitting there going, what happened? What happened? Because that's all it's about. It's all about Nick, right? It's what a lot of these people do. They don't care about solving problems. They don't care about America First. They care where the views are going. They will go where the views take them. Whatever gets them views, that's where they'll go. Praising Nick, talking about how base Nick is, that's where the views are. That's what a lot of people will do because they have no backbone. They don't give a shit about anything except making money and getting more views and fucking filling their own ego and making themselves feel important because so many people are watching them. I care about reality. I care about actually solving problems. And that's what we need to be doing as a movement, is focusing on how do we solve the problem? Not, oh, it's the Jews, it's them. Of course, there's a lot of bad fucking actors. We have a corrupt government. If I was Israel, let's reverse the thing here. Let's say America was the small country in the Middle East and Israel was the superpower. And you realize, oh, that superpower with all of its power and influence is able to be bought. You would go and buy them. You would be buying politicians left and right.
On getting other groups to stop playing identity politics when it benefits them. Telling them it's stupid doesn't seem to be working.
It's not a message that sells, dude. If they want to play identity politics, they'll lose more elections. It's not a message that sells. A message that sells to the American public, a winning message, is a message of unity among all American people. That's a message that will sell and can win an election. Not a message of like, oh, it's these people suck and these people suck. No, you have to bring people together. You got to bring coalitions together, dude. So the left's fucking identity politics doesn't work. If there's an alternative that's not an insane fucking maniac like this, that's offering the opposite of identity politics, offering true Americana, that will be the movement that wins. And yeah, I mean, it does suck that the left plays this shit, but okay, so now we got to be like the left. Now we got to be like the left and make identity politics our fucking main thing, our main grift. right? So we can't beat them, just join them, right? No, dude. No, you have to present an alternative that's better. Okay? You can't just go along with their bullshit. Everybody's sick of it. The smart people, not the idiots. The smart people. And the general population, I'm telling you, they are gonna be fucking put off by this type of shit. This type of fucking, oh, the white race shit, and oh, it's all the Jews, and it's organized Jewry, and it's like, no, you can call out all of those issues and not sound like an idiot racist. When you call out those issues and you're grifting and you're sounding like a racist and you're sounding like you're grifting to racists, it destroys the whole message. You can have the same message. You can have the same issues that you're pointing out, but present them in a way that has nothing to do with race. Why would you present them in a way that is just race focused, other than you want to discredit the entire fucking movement?
Against Fuentes, but for some mysterious reason, it was never filed. A month after January 6th, Nick would hold his annual political conference while failing to inform his audience that he was currently under FBI investigation, putting his followers in extreme.
The dashing rogue super chatted $4.99. Cults of personality. Run for office. Don't give activists more money. True story, one of the Turning Point USA events was held on a weekday afternoon.
What we need is a real Jeffersonian type. We need like a modern day Thomas Jefferson to go in there and wage war against the federal government from within. We need like a Thomas Jefferson type president who's gonna do revolution, but as president. From the inside. That's what we need. We need a return to states' rights. We need a massive downsizing of the federal government. And just look at how Thomas Jefferson viewed it. If we had somebody like that, a Jeffersonian type, who was willing to do whatever it takes, who was able to put together a message that unified the country behind him, and was able to convince the American people, hey, the problem isn't the Jews, the problem isn't the fucking Chinese, the problem is our own politicians selling out our country. And the problem is that we have a bloated federal government that has become corrupt and is only there to protect its own interest and does not work for the American people. And the only way to get rid of that is to cut it out like a cancer and return to the vision that our founding fathers had, which is a very small federal government with the states being the ultimate power locally. And we got to return to that. We need a Jeffersonian type, not a fucking Hitlerian type like Nick Fuentes. Thank you for the super chat.
Extreme danger of being targeted as an extremist by the federal government. His second in command at the time, Patrick Casey, would go public with the fact that Nick was under investigation, rightfully concerned about the well-being of the attendees. Nick would immediately oust him from the movement and launch a campaign of attacks against.
Yeah, I'm bought and paid for. That's what it is. I'm bought and paid for, guys. I'm taking the Israeli shells. Hey, you dumbass Groypers, how about actually addressing my claims, right, of Nick being a Fed? Why don't you respond to that? Why don't you address my claims that this sort of message is only going to destroy the movement in the long run and not bring it to power? It's going to make it a laughingstock, a joke. Why don't you address that? Why don't you think with a little bit of common fucking sense, if you're capable of it? I know a lot of you kids don't have problem solving skills. You're on your phone all day. Just what does the phone tell me? Oh, what does Nick Fuentes tell me? Maybe work on your own problem solving skills, because to get out of this problem, to fix this issue, that's what we're going to need. We're going to need problem solvers, not idiots who just want to rile up everybody and fucking scream about this guy's the blame, this guy's the blame. Okay, well, how are you going to solve the problem, idiot? You got no solutions to solve the problem, but you can point to it all day. Everybody can point to the problem. That's not very difficult.
$1.99 calls his show America First. Classic COINTELPRO.
Yeah, dude, he wants to be the face of the movement so that the movement can be destroyed. He's a Fed. Maybe I should restart this fucking video again so we can watch, because this video, like, if you watch this and you don't come away with questions, if you're not at least a little bit skeptical, then I don't know, you're drinking the fucking Kool-Aid, bro.
The man, labeling him a traitor, intent on destroying his livelihood. According to conference attendees, he would verify.
Let's go back. I might have to pause the super chats. I appreciate you guys, but I might have to pause them just so, you know.
Silver Devil super chatted $9.99. Off topic, but you're the most British looking human ever for an American. I love/agree 100% with your takes.
Thank you, bro.
Also, I'm a Marine, Afghanistan 08, and can't believe how many vets and Americans are maggots.
Yeah, thank you for your service, brother. Yeah, I'm Scotch Irish. You know, I have a odd upbringing. I was adopted by a Hispanic family, so I have an Hispanic last name. But biologically, I'm Scotch Irish and French. See, my family, my biological family, actually had to flee France during the fucking. They're very Catholic, by the way. Catholic. Every side of my family, adopted, biological, it's all Catholic. And they had to flee France during the Revolution, the French Revolution in the 1700s, because they were nearly killed just for being Catholic. And this is the type of shit that Nick would like to bring back. But no, you know, it's just going to be the Jews. It's just going to be the Jews with Nick, right? It's not going to be another Hitler situation where, oh, it's the Jews, but oh, we got rid of all the Jews, and oh shit, our government's still corrupt. Oh, who do we blame everything on next? Everything except for the actual fucking government that's selling us out, right? Anyway, thank you for the super chat, brother. Yeah, and I guess I look British, but I should be insulted because I'm Scotch Irish. But I'm sure there's some British in there as well. Thank you, brother.
Disregard the police. This capital belongs to us.
This is Nick Fuentes on January 6th, 1 month after receiving a $250,000 donation from a foreign source that would take his own life that very same day.
Hey, you super
If you're
chatted
unfamiliar,
$5.
Nick is a
There's no
political
white
streamer
knight coming to fix the government. It's a controlled uni-party. It would take a rising up of the people. Men who have had enough.
Yeah, I feel you. It does seem like a unfixable problem at times. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, people are not going to rise up until they're starving to death. And the control structure, they seem to be smart enough to not allow that to happen. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think we need a Jeffersonian type to actually fucking be able to run a campaign that can actually explain to the people that the problem is not the Jews, the this, the that. The problem is our government being corrupt. And you can't fix that because, and then you have to have like maybe even a lesson to be like, this is what our founding fathers said would happen. And this is exactly what's happening. We've allowed our federal government to get fucking become the central authority. We've pushed states back to the fucking, back of the bus. States don't even fucking matter anymore. The federal government's the power. And it's the exact opposite of what our founding fathers wanted. And everything that they warned us about is coming to fruition. So we need to return to the vision of this country that our founding fathers had. And somebody needs to lay that out in a way that's palatable to the general population so that they can win with a mandate. And then when they come in, they need to act like they're fucking we don't need a people revolution. That's what we need. We need a president to do the revolution from within the government and to go with whatever lengths you have to go to shut it all down except for what it's supposed to be. To return it to, it's like all these things people always go, what about the FFA, the FAA and the FCC? All that shit can be fucking slowly transitioned to the states. The federal government needs to get out of 90% of what it's doing. It needs to worry about our borders. It needs to worry about our military. It needs to worry about international commerce, about diplomacy, very tiny amount of things. Everything else needs to be the states control it. And then you have the experiment in democracy that it's supposed to be. You have the competition where states are going to compete against each other to offer the best fucking living situations because people can willingly move to whichever state is doing the best job. And then you have competition within government, which is usually one of the few things that will keep people honest is when they have to compete against other fucking actors, which is not happening anymore because the Fed took it all. But yeah, I think that's a possibility, a Jeffersonian type who can convince the American people this is how we solve the problem. There is no fucking surgery. We got to cut everything out. Yeah, Andrew Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of
we need Andrew Jackson.
There's a lot of founding fathers you can point to.
Part 2.
I like Thomas Jefferson. I like Thomas Jefferson a lot. But yeah, it's what we need. We need to return to the fucking original vision that our founding fathers laid out for us. Okay, we have to return to that. It's as simple as that, dude. And yeah, it may not be possible. You guys might be right. There might be nothing that we can do and just enjoy your time until till this empire fucking crumbles like every empire does. But that is a possibility because I don't think we're going to have a revolution where the people are going to rise up. People are still too fucking fat and happy. They're not going to do that. Not till they're starving, not till they're in the streets and they can't fucking feed their children. That's when a revolution will happen. But if we could get a Jeffersonian type to win with a mandate and to go to war within the fucking federal government to dismantle the bloat, that is a possible way to do it. And It may never happen, but it is a way. But it's a much better tactic than just going, the Jews, guys, the Jews, guys.
That could be best understood as the right-wing version of Hassan Piker. While hundreds of regular people, and several far less notable influencers, including those who never even stepped foot in the Capitol, have all been punished for their involvement on January 6th, somehow Fuentes has been able to evade any and all charges. Multiple of Nick's followers, the latest being Tristan Sarter, have been imprisoned after following Nick's instructions to invade the Capitol.
So his followers got in trouble, but not Nick. Convenient, right? Oh, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Oh, but he lost his bank accounts. Oh, but he had a meeting with the no charges. I guess he's above the law. I guess he's just above the law, right?
Brandon Straka, who never even stepped foot in the Capitol building, had his home raided by the FBI for just filming a video from the Capitol steps where somebody could be heard shouting "Go, go, go," despite the fact that the speaker was off camera, and both Straka and his family deny that the voice was his. He was still forced to plead guilty to 3 years of probation. Owen Schroyer of InfoWars didn't even say anything to the crowd.
I mean, here's all the evidence right in front of your faces, if you want to accept it or not. Here it is. All the people who did less than Nick Fuentes, they all got charges. Look what happened to Owen Schroyer. But no, Nick, some reason he's scot-free. Why? Because they want Nick to be a big influential person in the fucking America First movement so that it can be discredited. It's COINTELPRO fucking 101, people.
Or approach the entrance to the building, but still serve 2 months in prison for simply standing outside the Capitol. If you don't believe me, you can read through his entire case yourself here. It's only a couple of pages. Yet somehow, the self-proclaimed single largest political dissident in the entire country, who the government has every incentive to throw the book at, hasn't had even a single charge brought against him. The DOJ was actually working on a conspiracy indictment against Fuentes, but for some mysterious reason, it was never filed. A month after January 6th, Nick would hold his annual political conference while failing to inform his audience that he was currently under FBI investigation, putting his followers in extreme danger of being targeted as an extremist by the federal government.
He doesn't give a shit about his followers, dude. He fucking probably hates his followers and just sees this as a way to fucking cash out. Like he'll race grift all the way to the bank. He's seen how Al Sharpton did it. He knows how it's done. He knows, I mean, that's one thing that social media brought back is the race grifting. Like people realize, holy shit, if you race grift on social media, there's a lot of money to be made, bro. A lot of money to be made, especially when the Fed protects you.
His second in command at the time, Patrick Casey, would go public with the fact that Nick was under investigation, rightfully concerned about the well-being of the attendees. Nick would immediately oust him from the movement and launch a
Ice Koozie says he was never charged. He couldn't have flipped. God damn, cope, dude. Okay, how hard are you coping here, bro? Oh, he was never charged. I wonder why he was never charged. Oh, it must mean he never flipped because he was never charged. Okay, dude.
John Fisher super chatted $10. I agree for the most part. Nick is absolutely a glowy. However, a national return to rugged individualism will not come through the existing channels. The tree of liberty must be watered.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Again, I think the best way to do it, okay, because again, people are not going to do revolution if they're not starving in the fucking streets. That's just the reality. This is not the 1700s. We're not the same type of people that there were back then. So that's why we need a Jeffersonian type as president who is willing to do the revolution from the inside. And that would be the most effective revolution. And Trump's too bitch made to do it, obviously. Trump's not the guy. Okay? We need somebody who's serious, right? Anyway, thanks for the
campaign of attacks against the man, labeling him a traitor, intent on destroying his livelihood. According to conference attendees, he would verify each person's legal name by having them show their ID, as well as make each one of them take a photo with him, harvesting exactly the type of information that an informant could use to make a deal with the feds. A few months later, his bank account, which contained the $250,000 donation, was unfrozen, the investigation ended, and the conspiracy case was never filed. Since then, a total of 6 of his followers and former members of his organization have been arrested, leaving many people convinced that he must have taken a deal. There are clearly multiple examples of less influential people who didn't engage in explicit calls for vandalism and trespassing, yet were still targeted and punished. Nick and his followers' response to this is that Nick never entered a restricted area, and therefore the feds just chose to ignore him, telling people to break down the barriers and disregard the police.
Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This capital belongs to us.
Little dumbass kid. He's so dumb, dude.
If you know
He's so
anything about
dumb.
how the feds work, they'll
Okay, let's say he's not a Fed and he's just that fucking dumb that he thought this was gonna fucking work out. He thought he wasn't playing right into their fucking hands to make all of his followers and the entire movement look like a bunch of dumbass extreme. Even Alex Jones knew better, dude. That's why I don't fucking call Alex Jones and say Alex Jones is a Fed for this, because Alex Jones got there and said, turn the fuck around. This is a setup. This is nope. This is going to be another fucking Kent state. At least Alex Jones had that awareness. Whereas this guy, he probably had that awareness, but didn't give a shit. And at this point, he was probably already a Fed at this point.
compile a massive list of ridiculous charges which threaten decades of prison time just to force you to plead guilty to a much more lenient sentence. Take FPS Russia as an example. A large gun influencer who was charged with distribution for just giving his girlfriend weed and hit with defacing serial numbers over professionally done camos he had painted on his weapons.
So there's this federal law about defacing or altering serial numbers on firearms, and one of my guns had been Cerakoted, which is a fancy word for like professionally painted by a third-party company. And when they did it, like 2 of the serial numbers now were hard to read. But if you like scratched them hard enough with your fingernail, you could read them again. Like nothing was being hidden, but they were using that as this like modifier. It was like when you're playing Magic the Gathering and you like slap down an enchantment, like add 10 years. they were adding the 10-year enchantment onto my sentence because of that. That was 10 years.
They had him facing 30 years of prison time to get him to accept a 2-month sentence. And the government had far less incentive to punish him than they do Nick Fuentes, who claims to be the single largest threat to the system that currently exists. If you think I'm a biased source, why don't you listen to what one of Nick's closest allies, Keith Woods, had to say about the situation?
And that they're sleepwalking into catastrophe. Because, as far as I can tell, someone like Nick Fuentes could easily be perceived as and presented as one of the key organisers of the Stop the Steal rally on the 6th. And following those events on Nick's stream, not only did he not distance himself from the criminal actions of
SA super chatted $1.99. We need someone like John Doyle. Do a vid on him.
Yeah, I've never heard of John Doyle. I'll look him up. Thank you for the $2, bro.
people that entered Capitol Hill, but he doubled down on support for them and said things that would suggest that he supported these kinds of insurrectionary activities. Now, I'm not very familiar with the legal process, but it seems to me that the system would be keen to pursue someone like Fuentes, and that they may have enough based on statements he's made publicly.
Oh, there's plenty there, dude. It's another fucking Ray Epps situation. All of y'all were screaming about Ray Epps. Oh, why is it Ray Epps? It's the same thing with Nick Fuentes. It's the same exact thing as Ray Epps.
Hey, you super chatted $10. I agree with you. People will not care or change unless the situation causes enough pain. The problem with a Jefferson type is that the oligarchs control our choices and too many dumb people vote.
So when I say we need a Jeffersonian type who's willing to wage revolution from within the federal government to actually fucking bring us back to the founding fathers' vision of what this country's supposed to be, all options are on the table. Okay? That means martial law, emergency powers, all options are on the table because you're waging war with the fucking swamp from within. Right? Just a heads up. You don't have to, the president has a lot of powers if he wants to use them. And if the president sees this, like Thomas Jefferson would have no problem getting in there and going, hey, what the fuck is this? Okay, yeah, Insurrection Act. Okay, martial law. All right, it's okay, guys. Relax. We're not going to have the military in the streets. I just need martial law so that I can shut down all of these organizations that have no purpose anymore and that are destroying our country. You need someone willing to do the hard work to fucking... Because to be honest, I don't think you can do it as a people anymore because we're just going to get murdered by the military and then we're going to become the terrorists and and we're just going to give them more power to continue to strengthen their own power. And it's going to be labeled as to keep people safe from these right-wing terrorist extremists. But yeah, we need a Jeffersonian type who will take office, who knows how to run, knows how to get the message out there in the proper way that can be accepted by the mass population so that they understand the danger, the problems that we're trying to solve, and how drastic we need to be at this point to solve these problems, and then let him go to war as the president. I think that's one way to do it. Again, probably will never happen, but it is a fucking possibility.
Based on the
Thank you for the
actions
super
of
chat,
some
brother.
of his supporters and people associated with him, that they could easily tie him and the America First movement up in very dangerous federal legal proceedings.
At this point, I think it's clear to anybody honest that Nick took a deal with the feds to act as controlled opposition moving forward. He went from distancing himself from proponents of Hitler and Nazism, labeling them as unserious and potentially harmful to any genuine political act.
This is Nick saying the same thing I'm saying right now before he became a fucking Fed. Wake up.
Look, it doesn't take a test to say you're not a very smart person. And maybe if you are, you have no place in politics. You have no place doing this kind of thing. You're doing far more harm to the cause of good people than you do.
No, but Nick realized, oh, okay, maybe he got blackpilled and he's just like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to grift as hard as I fucking can to make as much money as I can, which is what most people are doing now. A lot of these political people, they're blackpilled. They feel like a lot of the comments here, there's no fixing this. There's no fixing it. So what the fuck? Let me just grift and make money and take care of my family and get the fuck out of here. This is how most of these political commentators feel right now. They don't give a shit anymore. They're burnt out. They're blackpilled. They don't want to offer solutions. They can't even think of fucking solutions. So they just grift to their fucking audience. They get captured by an audience.
Fisher super chatted $10. Ping. We are Rome. We are witnessing the end of the Republic. If a healthy America exists in the 22nd century, it will be led by an emperor. Democracy is a responsibility we can't handle.
You make a point there, dude. I mean, I understand why the founding fathers did what they did, but we're kind of at a gridlock here where we have Congress and Senate. They're just all corrupt. They have no interest in solving the problem. And for us to solve the problems, we got to go through them. It's never going to fucking happen. Again, that's why I think if we had a Jeffersonian type who was willing to fucking go as far as it takes to actually shut all this shit down, we could do it. But, you know, and I think if, you know, people say, you know, I've game planned this and it's like, well, but the military won't go along with it. No, if the military sees the American people are behind this, and by the way, the military is not going anywhere. You can get the military behind this. If you can convince the entire population to where you have a fucking coalition, where you can get elected on a mandate, the military will go along with it. Okay? Because a lot of people in the military see the same fucking problems that we all see, which is we have a bloated, out of control federal government that no longer serves the people and is actively destroying our country by robbing us of our tax dollars and sending it overseas. Why do they always send our money overseas? Because it's the easiest way to steal it. It's the easiest way to get that money back in your fucking pocket. And it doesn't matter if it's Israel, if it's China, if it's Saudi Arabia, if it's the EU. They don't care. You get rid of them fucking grifting to Israel and sending money to Israel, they'll find another country to send money to so they can fucking enrich themselves, dude. This is the reality. Again, you have a whore of a wife and you're mad at all the dudes that are fucking your whore wife. Instead of going, I need to talk to my whore wife and ask her to please stop fucking everybody. No. Let's just keep yelling at all and fighting all the dudes. We'll be fighting with dudes the rest of our life if that's the tactic we're going to fucking take. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, bro.
Presidency?
To outwardly proclaiming his love for him.
Yeah,
because this is, I mean, this is really revealing. This is Nick saying exactly what I'm saying right now. Exactly.
you're not a very smart person. And
Hitler and Nazism. Opposition moving forward. He went from distancing himself from proponents of Hitler and Nazism, labeling them as unserious and potentially harmful to any genuine political action.
Look, it doesn't take a test to say you're not a very smart person. And maybe if you are, you have no place in politics. You have no place doing this kind of thing. You're doing far more harm to the cause of good people than you're doing good.
I think part of it could be too, like when you ban somebody like Nick, right? This happens to a lot of people. You ban them off all the major platforms, and then they end up on these platforms where really the only people there are the fucking people screaming Jew every 10 seconds. So who are you going to grift to? If you end up on a fucking BitChute or a fucking Gab or a Cozy or wherever the fuck you ended up, and your whole audience are just people like, talk about the Jews, talk about the Jews. Now your audience is all these people that just want to hear about this, and you're going to grift to them. So you're just going to tell them what they want to hear, so those super chats keep coming in. If you can't tell, I don't do that. If you haven't figured that out yet, because the Groypers will come in and act like I'm the one grifting. Dude, if I wanted to grift, look at what happened when I played the Tucker Carlson Alex Jones debate. I was pretty nice to Nick Fuentes because there were things that he was bringing up that I agreed with, and I didn't go in hard on him. I did make it clear that I thought he was a Fed and et cetera, but I was also like, actually, I agree with what he's saying here. Oh, Pink Trip's based. Pink Trip's. If I wanted to fucking lean into that, my views would probably be 1,000 concurrent right now.
Caused certain friendships of mine to truly ascend. No joke. We'd laugh till we couldn't breathe, and then we're brothers. Also, Doody.
Well, I'm glad you're talking about the supercuts. I'm glad, GK. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I get a lot of nice messages about the supercuts. People seem to love them, and they cure their depression and all kinds of stuff. That's cool, dude. I'm glad I could help. Leica.
Leica's Revenge super chatted $2. Aryan Yos.
Okay, Leica. Kazaria, bro. Yeah, you get in that super chat every day. Thank you, Leica. Appreciate you. See, Leica's one of the good ones. He disagrees with me, but he's not fucking. Leica's a good one. There are people that can disagree with you and think you have the wrong take and they have the right take, and that, that's fine. So, Leica, I know we disagree on a lot, but you seem like a cool dude. And hopefully you understand what I'm saying here, because you should be listening to me. If you care about your movement, if you care about America first, you have to care about the optics of your movement and your movement actually being able to appeal to enough people for your movement to actually take power. That's the reality of politics. And if you don't want to, accept that, then you're not serious. You're not a serious person. I'm not talking about you, Leica, but in general, the Groypers.
Proclaiming his love for Hitler and comparing himself to him in speeches. Not to mention the entire Kanye West saga. What's a better way to discredit critics of Israel as mentally ill conspiracy nuts than to have a rapper with a long history of public mental breakdowns who just released an album detailing his struggles with schizo.
Oh no, how's this? How do I think?
GK super chatted $5.
Yeah, I don't think it even knows how to read that. It's like, I don't know. Is there a translation button here, GK? No translation button. Thank you, GK. I don't know what that says.
Behavior.
Thank you.
Be the new face of anti-Zionism.
I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But
it's almost unbelievable how a supposed major enemy of the media was let off scot-free for January 6th, yet there hasn't been any mainstream media coverage on this at all. Something here isn't adding up. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please like the video, please subscribe.
I've watched this guy's videos before. I was already subscribed to him. And then this one came up and I'm like, damn, this is great. XLP, go follow him. Of course, this is buried in the algorithm because, they don't want this message about Nick Fuentes to come out yet. This is the message that will come out probably the midterms, maybe the next general election. And then this is the message that the mainstream will push. Not that he's a Fed, but that, this is the real face of the America First movement. This is the ugly underbelly of the American First movement. Fucking mark it down on your calendar. And you're too dumb to see that's going to be the fucking play. If you're too dumb to see it, then just wait, because it will happen. And at that point, you'll see it. Don't worry. That's the play. Yeah, so shout out to XLP. It's a great video. Now let's get into some of the uglier stuff that maybe some of you aren't seeing, because right now there's a campaign to just put the kind of normie shit out there. They're trying to downplay his image a little bit to make it to where all these people will accept him and go, oh, he's so based, before they bring out the real dirty shit like this to fucking discredit the entire movement. So, you know, I just want to tell the algorithm and the YouTube moderators, this is for educational purposes. I do not condone any of the fucking videos I'm about to play. I'm just doing this so people can be aware of who this person really is and why he is going to destroy the America First movement. And we're going to end up with a neocon and a Kamala Harris type. That's what we're going to end up with if we allow people like this to take over. So let's play it.
Say all the traitors will have to kiss the ring. My supporters will never have to do anything like that because you took the pledge. You took the loyalty pledge. I will kill, rape, and die for Nick Fuentes. Raise your right hand. All right, everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I will kill, rape, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes. Okay. So as long as you take the oath, you're good. But you're right, I should get a ring so that all the...
Yeah, I'm sure he's just joking, guys, right? It's real convenient, right? That's just a joke. Oh, what a wonderful joke that was. I mean, that's high level comedy, dude. I mean, fuck, George Carlin would be impressed with that, wouldn't he? Yeah. If you're not seeing why this is a problem and why this is going to discredit the fucking movement you all claim to care about, then you don't want to see it. You don't care about it. You don't care about the movement. You just care about fucking, your little Discord circles and being cool and edgy and liked in your little community. It's like, no, I actually care about fixing the fucking country. And this ain't it. Let's go. What's the next one? Oh yeah, remember, he's, old Nicky. Let me see. Here we go. Actually, I made an edit of this. Let's see old Nicky here. Let's see.
I am pro-white. America used to be a white country. It is becoming a not white country.
You're a white supremacist? I'm not I'm Mexican. I know.
He's not even willing to say he's white. He's Mexican. Oh, it's silly. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm Mexican. My last name's Fuentes. It's a grift. This guy doesn't give a shit about anything he's talking about. He's grifting to you idiots to get super chats, to make money, because that's the only option he's got left, to grift to a bunch of fucking dumbasses that have been banned off of everything. And you shouldn't have been banned, by the way. All of this shit, all the worst shit that Nick's saying should be up on YouTube so everybody can see it and they can have an informed opinion about who this idiot is. And so people like me can call out his idiocy, because that's how it's supposed to work in a free society. People like this are not supposed to be silenced. They're supposed to be laughed at and ridiculed and fucking easily shown to be the idiots that they are. But instead, he's got to hide all this shit on Rumble, and then all the shit that ends up on YouTube and X is all the fucking normie shit. But yeah, guys, this is your fucking...
I am pro-white.
This is your great white hope,
America
right?
used to be a white country. It is becoming a not white country.
You're a white supremacist? I'm not. I'm Mexican. I know. I saw that.
I am pro-white. America used to be a white country. It is becoming a not white country.
Super chats ping?
No, I'm here to do more than just get super chats. Super chats are how I fund the show, so it's nice. But am I grifting just for the super chats? If I was grifting just for the super chats, like I just explained, I would be leaning into the fucking huge audience that showed up when I was talking nicely about Nick. When I was saying, actually, Nick's a smart guy. But I had to go and fucking watch his 3-hour, 5-hour fucking stream and listen to him. And it kind of reminded me like, oh, yeah, this guy is actually not to be fucking trusted. This guy is the worst thing that could happen to the fucking movement. And yeah, if I was grifting, I would be doing like everybody else is doing right now, which is kissing this little dumbass's ass, because that's where the algorithm is pushing everybody right now. Anything pro Nick is getting launched to the top of the algorithm, getting pushed to everybody. Anything anti-Nick is not. So if you think I'm somehow benefiting from this message, you're not paying attention to reality. Okay? You're not seeing the fucking massive downvote ratio I got on my last video. Okay? You're not seeing my numbers drop from 400 to 200 overnight because I'm fucking not grifting and kissing this dude's ass. So come on, Wilford. Give me a break, dude. Let's move on to the next one. Here's here's him talking about, I'll let Nick speak for himself here.
There is an occult element at the high levels of society, and specifically among the Jews. So many of the people that are perpetrating the lies and the destruction on the country, they are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice magic or rituals or whatever. And more than anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
The Midwest request super chatted $5. Nick is a divide and conquer tool that has been activated. I also see the Carlson versus Nick as more of the same, as the right is in charge now.
I agree, man. I agree. Thank you, Midwest. Yeah. Let me go back, because this, I don't want to miss the important part of this.
Take power, they need to be given the death penalty. They are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice magic or rituals or whatever. And more than anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
Basically non-Christians.
Straight up. And I'm far more concerned about that than I am about even non-white people or mass migration. These people that are communing with demons and engaging in this sort of witchcraft and stuff, and these people that are suppressing the name Christ and suppressing Christianity, they must be absolutely annihilated when we take power. This is God's country. This is Jesus's country. This is not the domain of atheists or...
Yeah. That's a message that's going to play. Let's just start executing people. That's a great message, Nick. That's going to play. That's going to play to the general population. It might play to your fucking dumbass Groypers on your fucking little site that's probably only got all the fucking most extremist people on there that you got to grift to. It'll play on there. That shit ain't going to play, dude. So, I almost want to play it again because it got stepped over a few times. But essentially, he's calling for non-Christians, who he calls the devil worshippers, to be executed. Okay, when they come into power, just be careful. Just make sure you convert to being a Christian when he comes into power, because you probably are going to get executed. But okay, no biggie. You guys remember Ali Alexander? Ali Alexander helped, coordinate or whatever. He was a big player in the Stop the Steal, the whole January 6th shit. Well, he was caught. What was it here? Undeniable proof that Ali Alexander Akbar solicited nude photos from a 15-year-old fan, a boy, by the way. A boy, if I understand right, a Groyper. A fucking 15-year-old boy within Nick's audience, if I understand right. And here's what Nick has to say about it.
I'm a political figure, and I want to organize a massive movement politically to take over the country. And that involves a great deal of associations. And sometimes they're not all good. It's as simple as that. If you have a problem with that, well, you try to build something. That's what I would say. Are countries and movements and things going to be ground to pieces because of bad faith attacks over sexual impropriety? If we're talking about rape and murder and things like that, okay. But when we're talking about flirting, give me a fucking break. Honestly. Yeah, and I know that's not a good look, whatever. But that's how I feel about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
That's going to be, they think that's a silver bullet. Well, but this guy flirted with people who were 15. Yeah, and that's gross. That's fucking gross. I think anybody would say it's gross. It's gross because it's gay. It's gross because it goes against the age. But this is some great moral condemnation. Yeah, okay, fucking guy that tells everybody he converted, he's still married. Okay, guy that's talking about going to Hollywood sex parties and making jokes about sucking priest dicks. Give me a fucking break. I thought about it a lot over the weekend. While I was meditating on the agony, other people were attacking me. But that's the same thing that Jesus went through, was mockery, ridicule, humiliation, false allegations. And you can't answer it. You can't defend it. I was moved by the fact that Pontius Pilate was impressed.
Okay, so basically, it's not a big deal that one of his friends was actually creeping on the little boys that are in his audience, which is what makes it even more nefarious. Is that this guy's most of his audience is fucking children. Oh, well,
GK Super Chat.
I don't know if they're fucking children, but they are children.
Spread your political commentary somehow via your amazing edits. Don't know how it'd be done. That's for your creative genius to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad idea, you know. But thank you for the 5GK. Somebody said they sent a $10 super chat, but it didn't show up. I didn't want to interrupt the clip, but who said that? Yeah, if you send let me see if there's a $10 super chat that didn't show up that's listed here, because that's not right. It might have been what you said, because sometimes it won't go through if what you're saying is not approved. Let's see. I see a 10 from John Fisher, a 10 from Hey You, a 10 from another 10 from John Fisher. 999. Yeah, it might not have went through, man. YouTube might not have approved it, or I've had that happen to me before, and I'm not sure what it was. It might have been just it didn't get approved. I don't know, dude. But yeah, it looks like it didn't go through. So hopefully, it didn't actually charge you $10. I'd check your bank account to make sure you weren't actually charged $10 if it didn't go through. Okay. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay if that's happening. So that's it with Nick. All right. I think I've made my point. And if you don't want to hear it, you don't want to listen to it, you're not serious. You're not serious about this movement. You're not serious about actually fixing the problems. You're just, I don't know, maybe you're in it for the views, you're in it for the fun, the edginess, you know, the community, whatever it is. I'm not. I'm not in it for the edginess. I'm not in it for the community. I'm not in it for the views. I'm in it because I want to fix this fucking country. And this guy is going to be the worst thing. We're going to need a new movement. If the trajectory continues, America First is going to be dead. And then he talks about that Kent guy. Oh, I was going to support the Kent guy, but then he fucking turned on me. Why do you think he turned on you, Nick? Why do you think he turned on you? Maybe because your message is so fucking toxic to anybody trying to run a campaign to get into office that they have no choice but to discredit you and disown you. You give them no choice, Nick. Oh, but you can never disown me. Well, when they start pulling up clips of you telling your followers to pledge to kill, rape, and die for you, you're fucking, we're going to have to execute all the non-Christians who worship It's toxic to any campaign. Of course, when they get to the point of having to win an election and create a fucking a coalition of people, you can't have a message like that. So of course Kent fucking disavowed you and disowned you, dude. He'd be stupid not to if he wanted to actually win an election. If you can't see that, man, if you can't see the writing on the wall with that shit, I don't know what to tell you at this point. So I made my peace. You Groypers have fun in the comment section with your bot army. Have fun. Doesn't bother me. They actually fucking tried to hack my email. While I was live, I started getting, I didn't know till after I was done being live, but like the whole time I was talking about Nick, I was getting password reset requests to my email that's public on my YouTube channel if people want to contact me. And then they started signing me up to Jewish newsletters and feminist newsletters, which that's I find kind of funny. But the part that did piss me off is that they were trying to hack my fucking email. But good luck with that, because I got 2-step verification. So yeah. Cry in the comment section all you want, but please don't ever address my actual arguments, because if you do, you're not going to fucking come away looking good, and you're not going to have any fucking way you're not going to want to talk about the Fed shit, obviously, right? That's just and you're not going to want to talk about the obvious fucking common sense situation of letting somebody like this with this sort of message is just toxic to any movement, and it will ensure that your movement never takes power. You don't want to acknowledge that either. Then I don't know what to tell you. You're living in your own fucking world. Have fun with it. Yeah, Howard Stern's done. They're getting rid of Stern, boys. I never thought I'd see this happen. I thought this was the writing on the wall to me was like 10 years ago. Nobody was listening to this fucker. But they kept renewing him and giving him $100 million every 5 years or more, I think. But finally, they're getting rid of him. This just in: SiriusXM has canceled the Howard Stern show after the Trump haters' ratings plummet. At least Stern will have time to tend to his TDS now. After you saw what happened with Stephen Colbert, it's like they just can't afford to keep him going. So yeah, no, they can't afford to. They're paying this guy $100 million for a dead audience where nobody's fucking listening to him. The show they paid for, it's not even that show anymore. They paid for this edgy fucking take no prisoners, fucking say anything you want to say type show. That's not what they have anymore. Nobody wants to watch it. He's just a fucking echo chamber of people that have like Trump derangement syndrome that are just like, oh, I support Howard because he hates Trump. Like, the show sucks. They got rid of all the fucking whack pack. They got rid of everything that made the show good. I was a fucking regular listener to Stern for a long time. Shout out Artie Lang, the true hero of Stern, the one who made the show fucking go. There's more than just Stern. I mean, there was, Jackie, Fred, fucking... the guy that did voices for a while in the 90s, I forget his name. Fucking, there were so many legendary characters on the Stern show that it is sad, But yeah, anyway, Stern's gone. I saw this the other day. I wanted to play this. We'll get to this one in a second. But let's get to this.
When we thought Trump...
We were talking about it the other day, about how he won't have Alex Jones on. I was like, he needs to have Alex on.
Zatoy Keys Kane
Sam
Sword.
Roberts?
Super chatted $5. Stern falls and Sam Roberts rises.
Does he? I've heard of Sam. Sam Roberts talks a lot about wrestling, doesn't he? I don't watch much wrestling, but I know Sam follows me. I think he followed me on X. But yeah, somebody's got to take Stern's place. I don't know if they will, because I think that kind of shit is dying. I mean, like, if anybody's taking Stern's place, it's like the podcast sphere. It's the Rogans, the Theo Vaughns, the yada yada yadas. That old school broadcasting for the radio shit. I mean, Sirius XM, it's there's just not an audience there anymore. So the podcast sphere took over all that shit. But yeah, thank you, Zato, for the 5. So yeah, we talked about, hey, maybe he'll have Alex on this week, talk about the Epstein files, and then who comes on 2 days later? Mike Baker. And I think Podcast Cringe does a good job of kind of addressing how a lot of us feel about the Mike Baker episodes at this point.
Was going to come in, and a lot of things are going to be resolved.
Yeah.
We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to figure everything out. And when you have this one hardcore line in the sand that everybody been talking about forever, and then they're trying to gaslight you on that.
Well, you would have thought that
Dan... Is that your phone?
Yeah, I hope not. Oh.
It's his fucking CIA handler, dude. That's who it is. It's got to be.
It's my wife. Should I answer?
Yeah, I'm so sick of Mike Baker too, bro. I'm so sick of it.
Silent.
Yeah, it's on. It was on silent, but it still goes. How does that happen?
Your
and
phone's
it still
compromised.
Goes. My phone
CIA
is compromised.
doesn't trust you. You're friends with me.
Well,
they don't trust you anymore.
They did call me this morning. What are you going to talk about? I don't know.
Joe Rogan's CIA handler is back in the studio to set things straight after everything that's been going on since Rogan took a short European holiday with his family. So now that Joe's back,
I get it. A short holiday vacation. This guy's better than Too Lazy to Try. I disagree with a lot of his shit, like I do with so many people, but this guy's funnier and way better than Too Lazy to Try. This
makes sense that Mike Baker would make an appearance on JRE. He's got this uncanny ability to turn up at the most fortuitous times to walk Joe through what's really going on behind the scenes. People have been calling it in the comments for a couple of weeks now, saying things like, it's only a matter of time before Mike Baker makes an appearance on JRE to give us the CIA's narrative on Epstein. And the comments in this episode did not...
Oh, your point was fucking Sam Roberts outlasted them all? Well, I mean, so did fucking Bubba the Love Sponge is still on. But are you talking about being on Sirius XM? I guess, man. I never listened to Sam, so I don't know much about his show.
Disappoint either. Mike Baker once again changing the batteries for the bugs he put in Joe's studio. All right, let's see what the CIA's position on current events is. So I think I've actually figured out how Mike Baker's been bugging Joe's studio. If you recall, last time he was in there, I pointed out that he holds his cigar in a very strange way. And this time I again noticed he holds his pen in a strange way as well, which led me to conclude that the bug is in the pen. Joe's probably always wondering why Mike accidentally leaves his pens behind every time he visits the studio, so he keeps them for him in a little tin in the middle of the table. That's why you never actually see Mike writing with the pen. It's just a placeholder in his hand until he's ready to leave it behind.
That's a pretty good theory. So every time he leaves, he just happens to leave a pen behind that records everything Joe's doing. I mean, fuck you. You can't trust anybody that's ex-CIA. Tucker, you got to respond, Tucker. I'm still waiting for Tucker's response. I don't know what Tucker's waiting for, but Tucker needs to fucking respond. That's what I'm going to talk about Nick Fuentes next. When Tucker responds, because he's got to.
But as you saw in the intro there was quite a bit of talk about the CIA in this episode, much more than usual, and a lot of it was Mike defending the agency and playing down his relationship with them.
We have a really nice relationship. They don't tell me what to say. If I go on TV to talk about something, they just like, you know, it's not like they're going to call up and say, well, here's our view on this.
They trust
right?
you.
Yeah, they trust me. I'm not going to open my yap and talk sources and methods, just talk from an operational perspective. But yeah, so that was my wife.
Yeah, the CIA trusts them, dude. The CIA, oh yeah, go ahead, Mike. Just go talk about whatever you want, Mike. Yeah. Come on, dude. How am I supposed to believe this?
Which reminds me, it's my boy Muggsy's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Muggsy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He named is that his kid? I had a Cocker Spaniel named Muggsy. Crazy. Shout out to Muggsy. Happy birthday, Muggsy. Whenever this was.
Shout out to Muggsy, happy birthday, brother, and shout out to the other two, Schmucko and Fucko as well. Sounds like such a wholesome family.
Oh, come
but
on
as
now.
usual, guys, there's absolutely nothing to see here. Everything is completely normal. Just keep calm and carry on. Rogan's just out here asking questions, so don't expect him to have the answers or to provide any sort of pushback against his guests who come on his show to spout their narratives. And even though Joe has access to all the people involved in this, for some reason he routinely asks questions after the fact that he could have easily asked them when they were actually on his show, sitting across from him in the studio.
Bro, it's not that easy. I know it seems easy, right? Like, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? Dude, in the moment, it's not always easy. I'm telling you. I've done these interviews, and after the interview, you're like, fuck, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have questioned this, In the moment, sometimes it's like you're a deer in headlights, you know? But Joe's done so many of these, he should be better at it at this point. But, you know, it's not as easy as it seems.
The Epstein stuff is so crazy because when Kash Patel was on here and he was like, there's nothing. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what to say. My thought was, and people are like, why didn't you push back more? My thought was like, I'm just going to put this out there and let the internet do its work because there's nothing I can. The guy's saying there's no tapes, there's no video. That doesn't make any sense. He didn't know about the Michael Baden stuff, the autopsy stuff, where it showed that he.
Black Mage, I obviously care what you guys say to a certain extent, but I can't care too much because I can't. Black Mage, you have to understand, what happens to everybody is they get audience captured. And the more I read the chat and I hear people complaining and then I want to make the audience, like, no, I have to just come with what I feel is right and say the things I care about and address the issues I care about in a way that I feel is correct to me. And I got to keep myself through all of that, right? So I care what you guys say. I especially care about you guys that support the show and sending all the super chats. You guys fucking rock. You're why I'm able to still do a show and afford to do it as much as I am right now. But yeah, I obviously care. I just, you know, I gotta stick to what I believe, you know?
He had 3 broken bones in his neck, which never happens. He's like, well, we have a film. We're going to release that film. And the film has a minute missing from it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think we're babies? Like, what is this?
Also, you got people, including Dan Bongino, right, making bank for a couple of years talking about how awful it is, and we got to get this. And this is a huge conspiracy, and then you release a 2-page memo that says, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, because you're walking by your bedroom window and you see a little laser, red laser moving across your chest. But how does Pam Bondi say we have thousands of hours, and then Kash Patel says we don't have anything, and then Tim Dillon said he has lunch with J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance says that 10,000 hours is commercial pornography.
Right. Yeah. You think this freak show of Epstein wasn't like, it didn't have hidden cameras or wasn't taped? Or whatever? I mean, come on.
So, 100%.
It's so obvious that Rogan hasn't figured out exactly what's going on here.
Ooh, 10 away from 100, boys. Smash a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Hoping to get out to more people and counteract I probably already 50 dislikes. I don't know. I can't see the dislikes, but I know the Groyper crowd, they get real upset. They get real mad. They don't like it.
It's so plain and simple for everyone to see but himself. Every single one of...
No, Kim, Nick Fuentes speaks to more people. Let's give that time. Let's see how long that lasts. Let's see how long his little shine is going to last, guys.
Rogan's guests has an agenda, whether it's a comedian...
A lot of people like to judge based off your views. Like, oh, you got more people listening to you. That means you're more correct. That's not how it works, idiots. Just because you got a bunch of people listening to you, that just means you're really good at grifting to one specific audience. which I've refused to do, which is not good for me if I'm just looking at the views and the numbers. If I just wanted to look for the views and the numbers, I would just be grifting. I would fucking be saying everything my audience wanted me to say. When the fucking Nick Fuentes Groyper crowd shows up, I'd grift to them. And then when whoever I can grift to, I would grift. But that's not what I'm doing, because I don't really give a shit. If I stayed at this size with the amount of money I'm making right now, I'd be totally fine. I'd be totally fine. I don't need to be some fucking rich fucking influencer, you know, like that just grifts all day long and loses himself in the process and stands for nothing. I don't need that.
An author, filmmaker, or scientist, but when it comes to politicians, they're all compromised in different ways.
Yeah, it's not anti-Semitic to be critical of Israel. You're right, Black Mage. So stick to being critical of Israel and stop going, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, which I'm not saying you're doing. But I see it in all these fucking posts. You go on X, there's somebody will put a post up and they'll be like, I don't like what Trump's doing. Now he's going to cut funding to states that boycott Israel. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking stupid. It's terrible. And then the comments are all like Hitler pictures and the Jews we need to, it's like, it's so obvious they're put there to discredit the fucking message. And it probably wouldn't be surprising if they were put there by Israel themselves. Because every time you want to criticize Israel in a legit way, all of a sudden, all the fucking crazies show up to make it about the Jews and start posting their Hitler memes. What is going to discredit a message quicker than that? But I guess you don't get it. You don't get it. Okay. Understand.
That's what he doesn't seem to understand. Getting the FBI director, Kash Patel, on the show when Elon Musk was dropping bombs on Twitter, accusing Trump of being on the Epstein list, and seeing him squirm and weasel his way out of discussing it should have been the clearest sign yet that his guests are all compromised. There's so much to unpack here, so I'm going to go through it step by step.
Well, Kash
I'm even
Patel
going to give you a
was definitely compromised in that episode. He didn't even look like he wanted to be saying the things he was saying.
Hot take on what I think's really going on with Trump and the Epstein list, which I don't usually do, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm already balls deep in this shit as it is. And so when it comes to compromised guests, it's never been more obvious that Mike Baker is still a company man. People joke that he's Rogan's CIA handler, but after watching this episode, it's never been clearer to me that he really is. Just listen to the way he fumbles his way through this answer to Joe's question and reveals the real reason he turned up to Joe's studio that day.
What do you think, from your perspective, what do you think that was all about? Who do you think was involved in that? Do you think it was the Mossad? Do you think it was some rogue intelligence agency in America? Was it a coordinated effort?
You know what? I know this. You know, there's a lot of talk about. You know, did he have some sort of intel connection? Right.
Right.
That you know, from my perspective.
Do I have a non-confrontational voice master? Because I tend to trigger people because I get real passionate and I talk with I like to have some energy the way I talk. I don't want to be just a voice critical, just talking like because that's the cool thing, to talk like you don't give a fuck about nothing, to just be like, oh, whatever, I'm too cool to care and I'm just above it all. Like, so people get triggered. I've even seen people in the comment section say, like last episode, Picture, why are you so angry? Stop being so angry. It's like, no, it's called passion. I know it's triggering to some people. But so yeah, that's odd that you would say I have that the opposite, because I hear the opposite all the time. But thank you.
Perspective is complete speculation, but I will say, like from an operational perspective, if you see a guy like this who's super connected and you know, all the way back to 2008 was like his first trial, right? So he's had a long history of these problems. If I'm Chinese intel, right, and I just read the goddamn entertainment.
Have you been listening to me? No. Mossad is terrible. Every fucking intelligence agency is terrible. Every country has a terrible intelligence agency that is doing terrible fucking things. Mossad included. Talk all the shit about Mossad you want. Call out Mossad. Call out Israel. But when you start saying the Jews, you got to understand how that message comes across.
Entertainment news, and you know, there's these rumors and allegations of high-level people flying off to his island. I'm going to think that's interesting. So if I can get somebody right inside that operation, whether it's Ghislaine Maxwell, or whether it's Epstein himself, whether it's somebody who's just on the outskirts of it, maybe I'll start picking up some pretty interesting leverageable information on people that maybe I want to influence.
If that doesn't convince you this guy still reports to Langley, then I've got a bridge to sell you. See the way he gave the most basic answer possible, but slipped China into the fray? He gave the most high-level basic explanation of what everybody already knows, but made sure to use China as an example and not the CIA or Mossad. This next bit, though, was kinda disturbing. I don't get why nobody's pulled Joe aside and explained to him that when he says things like this, it's really not a good look, and makes it real hard to defend.
Yeah, Nick made the same. Yeah, Nick actually has said the exact same things I'm saying right now. That was his old take on it. But then he ended up, banned from everything. I'm not even sure why he got banned. I'm not sure what he should have never been banned. Because all it does is it puts you into more extremist circles. And if a lot of people, they're just trying to make a living as a content creator, they're going to grift to whatever audience is there. And that's the audience he had to grift to, so it seemed to get more and more extreme. But yeah, Nick should take his own advice from years back, because he's not fucking playing the optics game very well anymore. And it seems on purpose to destroy America First. That's my opinion.
And it's so funny to me that...
And you remember when, was it Laura Loomer and Milo Fuentes, they got banned off everything, and their thing was to get everybody else banned? I remember, maybe it wasn't Milo, but I know Laura Loomer for sure. She went on InfoWars and started crying about how she was banned, and she wants to get everybody banned now. She wants to get all of America First banned now so that they can understand and feel what the pain she's feeling. A lot of these people, and I can kind of understand it. They fucking went through some shit. They got banned. They got fucking made to be like their careers ruined and all that. And now they're angry and they just want to take it out. And then they're mad at their own movement because their movement didn't stand up enough for them. And then they basically become saboteurs of their own movement, because if I can't be a part of it and I can't be the face of it, then I'm just going to sabotage it. So, fuck all of you.
That it's always comes down to carnal needs. When you get to this Bill Gates level and Bill Clinton level, you can't just go pick up gals at the bar.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what
a little
I mean?
tough. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're a super famous super freak, and you'll like chasing skirts, but you can't do it. What do you do?
Well, you do what he did, right? Which is you get somebody to procure for you, which apparently was primarily Maxwell's job. She was clearly operating as his pimp, or whatever the female version of a pimp is.
Curator.
Curator. Yeah, it's a curator.
Yeah. No. The word isn't curator. The word you guys are looking for is trafficker. You know how Ghislaine Maxwell is currently serving 20 years for trafficking? She's not in prison for curating. That's what fucking museums do. And Rogan said all of this stuff before about how a lot of these guys were super high profile. They couldn't just go in public, so they needed someone to traffic teenage girls for them. Bro, what are you even saying? We're not talking about blind dates here or a double date with a friend. We're talking about serious crimes here. These guys really need to quit downplaying the severity of the Epstein situation. As usual, though...
The Midwest request super chat at $2. You become radioactive. Contaminate everything.
They become angry. They become angry because they're victims and no one's fucking standing up for them. They're not, So it's just like they want to lash out at everybody. But there is something to that. This is why censorship is so fucking terrible, because you just drive people into their little fucking echo chambers. They become more radical, more extreme. And with social media, when you ban everybody from the main platforms, and the only platforms that are left are the ones that everybody already got banned from because they're fucking extremists, obsessed with Jews, screaming about Hitler was right and all this shit, then who do you have left to grift to? That's all you have left to grift to. So you're going to have to fucking grift to those people and tell them what they want to hear. Otherwise, your career's done.
Things only get worse.
Look, again, I can't speak to, the rumors about him working for...
Yeah, we're okay, John. How you doing, John? John, I've tried to tell you a million times, John, you got to learn how to... I know you love the comment section, John, but this is going to be a rough one to be engaging in the comments with, okay? People will be mean to you, John. You just got to ignore it, okay? Let's go.
One intel agency or another.
Shout out to John. Hope you're doing good, bro.
If I'm working for an intel agency and I see something like that, I might find that of interest, right?
Oh, for
and then
sure.
I would definitely go after somebody to see what's going on.
It's the easiest connect the dots puzzle of all time.
Yeah.
You got rich, powerful people and hot chicks and probably drugs and cameras.
Yeah.
No. Joe, buddy, we're not talking about hot chicks here, mate. We're talking about children. Jesus Christ with this fucking guy. Bro, you've got 2 young daughters as well. That's honestly crazy to me how he keeps saying shit like this, and it's not the first time. Almost every single time he's discussing Epstein on the podcast, he says something along those lines.
Yeah, but he's talking about how you lure the regular dude in to make it seem like, oh, it's just a party with hot chicks, and it's like obviously you have above age women. You just surround yourself with a bunch of beautiful women. That's how you lure people in. Because they're like, oh, I want to be whatever that guy's doing. I want to be there with all the hot chicks. And then that's when you introduce them to the nefarious shit and you compromise them. So yeah, I don't know, man. You're playing a little word games here, trying to make it like Joe's like defending pedophilia or something. Okay.
And it just comes off as some sick fantasy. It's almost like he relates to the rich and powerful men who were hanging around Epstein more than he identifies as the father of the kids who were abused by them. But at this point, Mike Baker had finished planting the seed that the CIA had nothing to do with it, and it was probably China. Now it was time for him to start watering the soil and throw Russia into the mix.
And I tell you, the Russians love nothing better than, the truth. The reality is, in terms of recruiting an asset by using blackmail is tough, right? You gotta that window starts closing immediately. You're blackmailing somebody for their cooperation. At some point, that's going to go south on you, right? But having said that, look, the Russians in particular love that, right? And Chinese intel, they'll do whatever works from their perspective. The agency, again, people are going to say that's bullshit. The agency tries, the blackmail is never really ever on the table as an option because it always leads to a problem.
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, the asset will turn on you, right? Next thing you know, you've got an agent working now, a double agent working for the other side, right? Because they're so over by the fact that they've been blackmailed, and at some point they lose their shit. They decide to roll for the other side.
But aren't you constantly monitoring them and looking at their phone?
There's only so much. No, not really. There's only so much you can do. That. So that's the operational reason for trying to avoid blackmail, right?
So yeah, blackmail is not even a good strategy, guys. I mean, the intel agencies wouldn't use blackmail. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It sounds like he's doing a smart cover up here. And I did read the reports where he's like, actually, Epstein was working for China, and it seems like a sneaky cover up.
Has it ever been done? Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't been done,
of course,
but some services go to it much quicker than others do. Yeah.
And which services?
And
I would,
well, again, the Russians are primary users of something like that. They've got a shotgun approach. Yeah, Israelis have been known to do that in the honeypot operations that they'll do and other things. But the Russians throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Okay, hold up. So now,
Russians.
According to Mike Baker, the
Russians,
CIA
boys.
running the Epstein op would have been too unethical for them to have ever been involved. Let's just unpack that for a minute. The organization who brought you Project MKUltra, one of the biggest domestic wiretapping controversies in history, all of the known human rights abuses, the Iran-Contra affair, drug trafficking to fund operations, hiding covert operations from Congress, and the most infamous of all, allegedly orchestrating the JFK assassination. After all of that, blackmailing rich dudes is...
Oh, see, look, Podcast Cringe here he's obviously a shill because he's not willing to say it was Israel, because it was Israel. It was Israel that did all of this. It was Israel that assassinated JFK. It was everything was Israel, guys. Now, I do think with Epstein, I would put a lot of money on him actually working for Mossad. But again, I would think he would be working with the CIA too. But who knows, man? We need details. But yeah, I think there is like more evidence of him working with Mossad than about anybody else, isn't there? Isn't there? I don't know.
Supposedly too unethical for them to pull off. That has to be one of the biggest lies I've ever seen a JRE guest say to Rogan. And Joe just sat there nodding his head. He didn't even think to bring up the prosecutor who claimed he was told not to touch Epstein because he belongs to intelligence.
Bro, Podcast Cringe, you need to start doing interviews because you seem to have all the questions, all the answers. You know exactly how to conduct these interviews. Go do these interviews, Podcast Cringe, and then you'll find out how hard it is in the moment to come up and think that fucking, you know. But yeah, it's easy in hindsight to go back and you should have asked this, you should have said that. Why didn't you say this? It's a lot easier in hindsight than in the moment. Trust me. And maybe you should start doing some interviews like this so that you can show us how it's done.
Why
by the way, yeah, don't interview Mike Baker, by the way. I don't know why Joe's constantly having Mike Baker on. I don't know. It's dumb. The episodes are boring. He offers fucking nothing. It's like, oh, he's CIA, ex-CIA. He should have all this info. No, he knows nothing. He's ex-CIA and he fucking knows nothing. But yeah, stop with the Mike Baker episodes, man. Replace him with Alex Jones, dude. At least get Alex, because, like, fuck, even if you disagree with Alex, at least you'll be entertained for 3 hours. Let's debate one day with fact checker.
Super chatted $2. Let's debate one day with a fact checker.
Yeah, well, I'll think about it, Leica. Thank you for the
Fuck,
tip.
would an American prosecutor be forced to protect a Russian or Chinese intelligence operation? Like, Joe, what is actually going on in that head of yours when your guest lies straight to your face like that? And when he brought up Israel, Mike dismisses it and says, yeah, nah, it's probably Russia. So let me get this straight. The CIA thinks that the Jeffrey Epstein operation was orchestrated by China or Russia, an operation that saw the trafficking of American teenage girls to compromise and influence the most powerful men in America, and this is their response.
It's funny because with the agency, it's not like the Bureau. The agency, I think most people honestly don't really probably give a about the Epstein files. They're more concerned now about this release from.
Like, if I debated you, it would be about solutions. How do we solve these problems? Not just, oh, let's point out and, oh, these guys are bad at that. Like, we got to be solution based. Anybody can point out the problems and go, these people are compromised, these people are bad actors. Anybody can do that. What are the solutions? That's what we need. We need a movement of offering fucking solutions. And yeah, I'm probably not going to debate you, dude, because again, I'm not interested in going down the rabbit hole of the Jews are behind every fucking thing that ever happened in my life. The Jews are behind every blade of grass. It's a Jew doing it. To me, it's too retarded to be given time to.
Tulsi Gabbard and the talk about, manipulating intelligence.
Which is exactly what Nick Fuentes said, I don't know how many years ago, right? Right, but let's forget that.
For the 2016 election,
right,
and Russian collusion and all of that. That speaks more to the agency than the Epstein files does.
Well, tickle me pink and call me fucking Elmo. Austin, we've got a problem. Rogan's so open-minded that his brains fell out. This is like that scene where Hannibal feeds Paul his own brain. What's the main course? He should never ask. It spoils the surprise. What Joe should really be saying is, come on, what's in the box? But that's not nearly the end of it, because if you thought that this was the end of the CIA speak, wait until you see this next clip where Mike Baker simultaneously
pretend to ignore the problematic post said. Did you even watch the episode? Did you even watch what I had to say at the beginning, problematic post? Some of you don't listen to what I'm actually saying. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Addressing the problem is what my whole episode's been about. And why making it about the Jews is not addressing the problem. Again, you're going to the bar and fighting all the dudes who fucked your whore wife, rather than addressing your whore wife, who's got her legs spread open to everybody. That's what you want to do. You want to go to the bar and you want to fight the 50 dudes who banged your fucking wife the last month, rather than address your wife who is a whore, who is the problem. So yeah, you guys want to address the problem? No, you're not. That's not addressing the problem.
Claims that the names on the list are super important, yet probably don't matter at all.
But yeah, look, everybody's worried now, right? No,
no, P Money. Nick Fuentes didn't mention me. Nick Fuentes is just, I see a lot of people I respect kissing his ass and pushing him as like some fucking amazing voice for the America First movement, when to me he is a cancer to the movement. And so it feels like I have no choice but to address it, because I see people going along with it, people that I like very much, going along and praising this little fuckhead, not understanding that they're letting the snake into the fucking hen house, or the wolf into the hen house, however you want to put it. That this guy is actually going to destroy the fucking movement. and make it not palatable, and it's going to be it. That's it. It's going to be just a fringe movement if this is the shit that we allow to go on in the movement. So yeah, it's important to me to address this. If you care about America first and you want America first to succeed, and you care about all the problems that all these people are pointing out, which is a frustrating part, the people like Nick Fuentes and me, we agree on a lot until he starts the identity politics and the race baiting bullshit, which makes me even more angry because it's like, holy shit, here you are calling out all these problems and educating people on these problems, and you're going to send them off to the fucking it's Adolf Hitler. You're going to send them off to the Jews rather than how do we fix our government that is a whore that has its legs spread open for anybody that wants to stick it in. You're going to go off. It's like you're a fucking COINTELPRO. That's what you are. You're a Fed here to discredit and destroy the movement. And again, how you don't see it is mind-boggling to me because it's right in front of your face and it's fucking common sense.
At first, it was like, okay, again, I go back a handful of years. Nobody was pushing for this, right? Because you got people from all sides probably on whatever that list looks like, whatever that Epstein file looks like, whoever was involved. So it looked like, all right, there's kind of this bizarre bipartisan moment where we're not going to push for this, really. We're not going to make a big effort here. We're not sending anybody from DOJ. The Dems aren't, during the Biden administration, calling for the release of the files. Now, all of a sudden, they smell, blood in the water. Nobody's going to look good from this. But I would caution, just because a name might be in a file, no matter whose it is, doesn't necessarily mean there's nefarious activity. And this person was there. Doesn't mean they're connected to something awful. They weren't f***ing underage girls. Maybe they were if they're in the file, right? But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people probably in that file that are going to be named, if it ever comes out, who may or may not have been engaged in illegal activity. But just release the goddamn things.
So just because they're on the list doesn't mean they necessarily did anything illegal. But if they are in the file, they probably did. Either way, the CIA had nothing to do with it. It was probably China or Russia. So just release the goddamn thing. Bro, can you hear the word salad coming out of your fucking mouth? I've never heard anyone hype something up and downplay it in the same sentence. It's not that Mike Baker thinks Joe Rogan's stupid enough to believe everything he's saying. He knows Joe Rogan's stupid enough to believe everything he's saying. I am absolutely convinced that this was a CIA-Mossad joint operation, and this next clip made me realize
that would be my best bet. There's no way the CIA didn't have their hands in it. And it seems Mossad was involved as well. So yeah, I would almost think he was like a free agent. Like, oh, you need a fucking guy to blackmail people? Oh, let me get you in touch with Epstein, okay? So I think he was probably working for whoever, wanted him to. But yeah, definitely the CIA was involved, no doubt about it.
Is why.
The Epstein situation is going to be so disappointing to so many people now because I have this theory that nothing ever gets done in Washington, D.C., right? Investigations go to die there. Nothing ever happens. There's never any real consequences of any nature. And we got all sorts of things happening right now, right? So the Epstein case is just one of them. Regardless of who else is in the files, right? And the Dems, I think, were worried for quite some time and didn't pursue it because, years back they were thinking, okay, Clinton's going to be embarrassed. We don't want that.
Right.
So, again, my point would be just release everything.
The fact that Mike's saying that nothing gets investigated properly in Washington and that it doesn't matter who's on the list from both sides, they should just release it and be done with it so we can focus on the more important issues at the moment, made me realize something. If this really was a CIA-Mossad joint operation, the Department of Justice, FBI, Congress, and the White House don't know the details. Why would Mike be so keen to release the files if he knows the CIA was involved? It could only be because he knows nothing in the files can implicate them. That says to me that the actual files everyone's fighting over don't actually explain the full extent of the operation.
But you also have to have faith that they're going to just release everything. You don't know if they're going to release everything. You're just going to know what they give you. And, they could easily take things out and put things in as they want. They could easily make the files tell whatever story they wanted to tell. So yeah, it'd be nice to give us the files, but you're going to have to take everything with a grain of salt because you're going to trust that the CIA put everything in there. You're going to trust that Trump put everything in there and didn't take out the shit that made him look bad, which by the way, I heard that they were working on releasing the Epstein files again, but the DOJ was going to take out every mention of Trump. That's probably what will happen. And then you won't be able to trust it because it's like, oh, okay, so you're just editing it so that it looks the way you want it to look. This is the thing, man. At this point, you're never going to really be able to believe what comes out.
And probably only contain the ground level names and the videos without exposing the faceless men behind the scenes running the show. Mike's basically saying
Groypers, you're going to have to try a lot harder to try to make me feel like my opinions, what I'm have to say, is in any way wrong whatsoever. You could call me a Jew, cognitive dissonance, whatever. I mean, I don't know if you're even talking to me, John Rafferty, but guys, have fun. Have fun. I 100% believe in my message, and I have a strong, belief that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm on the mark here. So have fun. Have fun trying to bully me and make me feel bad because I'm not going along with it. It's not going to work. But please give me the engagement in my comment section. Please give me more comments.
Files you're all talking about will only scratch the surface, so let's just release them and be done with it because you ain't never going to get to the bottom of it.
But going back to, I know I'm bouncing around here, but going back to the Epstein thing, I don't understand how they handled this so poorly, right?
Like, if you're too dumb to understand the point I've been making, then just, I don't know, dude, stop listening. But if you're going to call me ignorant, that's not, what is that? Address my fucking argument, Leica. Address my argument. Your whole thing is like, I want you to spend 20 hours straight researching the Jews and every terrible thing the Jews did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna so I can become crazy like you. Okay.
For Pam Bondi to come out and talk about the
files.
I
thought you were reasonable, but maybe I was wrong.
Like within a blink of an eye, they come out with this bullshit Sunday night memo saying there's nothing to see.
How could there's just a lack of coordination?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
that makes sense.
I think it's a messaging problem is always kind of a key element of the Trump administration. I'm just saying, a hallmark of a Trump administration is the ability to have a self-inflicted wound, shoot yourself in the foot because of messaging usually.
All right, so at the beginning of this video, I told you guys I was going to give you my take on why Trump doesn't want the files to come out. I'm just some guy on the internet, so obviously take this with a grain of salt. I feel like if Trump was on the list or there was incriminating evidence against him involving trafficking or something similar, it would have come out already. The CIA doesn't like him. If they had something like that, I think they would have already used it to get rid of him.
Well, I don't know if you're crazy, Leica, but you seem pretty stupid. To be honest, you seem pretty stupid if you don't understand the message I'm putting out here. And if you actually cared about fixing the country, you would probably listen to the message and understand it. Because I don't know, like, what your goal is. Like, are we going to just get rid of all the Jews, Leica? Is that what we're going to do? We're just going to get rid of all the Jews? Is that what's going to work, Leica? Is that your solution? Like, what's your argument? Give me a solution, Leica. Right now, I'm watching the chat. What's your solution, Leica? What's your solution, Leica? Quick. I don't have all day. Leica, what's your solution? How do we solve this problem, Leica? Leica, what's the solution? How do we solve this problem? Stop just going Jews. How do we solve the problem, Leica? I'm listening. Spanish Golden Age started how? Okay, so you're going to be like another one of these guys that's like, look at all this tidbit of useless knowledge I have that proves me right. Oh, look, the Jews did terrible things. Every fucking civilization did terrible things, dude. Okay? What's your solution, Leica? How do we solve this country? How do we fix the problem, Leica? What's your solution? Because I have a solution, and it's getting rid of our whore that's fucking got her legs open everywhere. Fixing that. But your solution is, again, you want to go to the bar and you want to fight the dudes banging your wife, Leica. That's what you want to do. That sounds like your solution. It's not going to solve anything, dude.
Rid of him. But I don't reckon Trump is
Your wife's still going to be a whore after you knock out every fucking dude that fucked her.
Worried about being on the list. I think he used the Epstein saga to tap into the young male audience.
I am arguing with bot jail dubs, but Leica actually sends super chats, so I feel some like fucking, responsibility to actually respond to the things he says since he actually sends me money. But it's a not a winning argument because I'm talking about solutions. I'm talking about how to get movements to actually come into power. So you can actually do things, and you guys are just are just like, oh, you're not calling out the Jews enough. How come you're not calling out the Jews? Oh, you're so ignorant to the Jews. It's like, dude, Get the fuck out of my face. At a certain point, it's just fucking schizophrenic, dude.
Audience to get
really
elected.
Is.
He got guys like Rogan, Schultz, the
Jesus
Nelk boys,
Christ.
Theo Von, and Logan Paul on side. He was finally going to give
Is John
everyone an
John's not
inside look
pregnant,
into
trigger
the
warning.
shadows of government and expose all the corruption. But then once he got into office again, he realized how bad the Epstein files really were, how far-reaching and
Leica, that's not a solution, Leica. What is your solution to the problem, Leica? What is your solution to the problem, Leica? Give me something, dude. You got nothing so far.
wide they are, and figure that if he dropped it all to the public, it would wreck the rest of his presidency.
Okay, so I was giving you guys the time of day to actually respond to you, but you're going to say I'm just being triggered? I'll stop responding to you then.
He probably
That's a lot
finally
easier.
realized how damaging it would be to the country, that it would clean out Congress and corporate America, fuck the stock market, and cause a recession, etc., etc. And he thought, do I really want to be the one who does this to my country? It'll ruin the rest of my second term.
Where did you say it, Leica? Where did you say it? Where did you say it? I didn't see it. I don't see any solutions, Leica. I just see you just want me to call out the Jews more. That's all you want. That's all you want, because you want me discredited just like everybody else. That's what you want, Leica. You want to discredit my message the same way Nick fucking Fuentes is discrediting it. At this point, Leica, I'm thinking you're a Fed as well, Leica. At some point, yeah, you're a Fed. Micah has no answer to the JQ.
The Bashing Rogue super chatted $2. Micah has no answer to the JQ.
I'm sure he does, but he knows he can't say it out loud.
Spend the rest of my...
Because they try to say this is not a Nazi Hitler movement, but they use the same talking points in fucking Germany during that time period. It's the same shit. But yeah, I'm sure.
My presidency rebuilding Washington. I don't know. To me, Trump's a businessman. He doesn't really seem like he's committed to ripping apart the US government and ruining his beloved stock market. He's used to winning. The whole Epstein thing is a distraction from how well he thinks he's doing, and he's even literally said that, right? Who cares about Epstein? We all have this other shit going on. Look how much we're winning, etc. So it sounds to me like he used it as an election promise to get people on board and just hope that everyone would forget about it and move on to the next.
Black Mage, do you not understand my analogy of your whore wife going around with their legs spread open? And you want to go fight all the fucking men that are fucking your whore wife? You want the Jews are no. Our political class run this country, and they are for sale to the highest bidder, to anybody. So you have to fix that. And then to fix that, you have to play the game of optics. And you can't come across like a bunch of fucking Nazis that are obsessed with a race of people and a religion. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just common sense 101. I know it's hard to follow.
Sword. Super chatted $2. Khazarians.
Yeah, it's the Khazarian, the Jewish Khazarian mafia, guys. Because actually, the Jews are Khazarians, right? They're not Anashkazi or whatever the fuck. They're from Khazarians, guys. If you don't understand, like the Khazarians actually are the fake Jews, and it's like, oh, okay, guys, yeah, I don't understand that. That means I don't know nothing. Okay, all right. Thank you, Zato.
Thing, except that's not going to happen. I don't know. It's either that or he's plain and simple on the list and there's incriminating evidence against him. At this point, honestly, who the fuck knows? Anyway, don't forget to check out the link in the description to my Patreon so you can watch my breakdown of Shane Gillis at the ESPYs plus a whole bunch of exclusive
Come on, Shane did not bomb at the ESPYs, dude. It's just so easy to go get views just talking shit about people. Shane did not bomb at the ESPYs. The crowd was fucking terrible. All the clips went viral. Everybody loved the clips on the internet. So the idea that Shane bombed on the ESPYs is just fucking dumb. I don't know. We're almost probably...
A tremendous amount of information that the public does not know. It shows who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying, who was paying him.
I don't even know if this one's worth watching because I didn't watch it, but this is Virginia Guffrey's lawyer explains the contents of the Epstein files. Let's see what she says. Let's see if we get any details here.
Thank you for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you for having me.
What do you make of what the Democrats have done today, this tactic of trying to force the administration to publish these files?
Well, it's really an exceptional move. I mean, I think this entire time, certainly on behalf of the survivors, they have been hoping for disclosure of this information. So now we're seeing this inter-struggle in the government where both sides are fighting for some different things. And ultimately, what we're hopeful for is that we will see more disclosure of the information underlying this over 20-year running sex trafficking operation.
But do you think this tactic the Democrats are employing today, this legislation that allows 5 senators to demand a document be published, do you think that could work?
I do think it can work. And what it does is it opens up more information than simply what the Trump administration is asking for with the unsealing of the grand jury testimony. So what the Democrats are asking for now would open up all of the files, all of the underlying government information from the investigations dating clear back to 2006 forward. So that's really an abundance of information that could flow out to the public if they're successful.
But isn't it likely that actually it will go to court first and we'll see another protracted leak?
Hate speaker Sargon Novak had super chatted $5. My solution keeps getting blocked. I've got an argument you may not have been exposed to yet.
Well, I don't know what it is. If it keeps getting blocked, you might want to figure out a way to word it to get around the censors. But yeah, if it's a final solution type situation, then yeah, it probably will get blocked. I imagine. I don't know, man. You got to be creative with how you word it to get around the YouTube auto censors.
Legal battle, rather than on this deadline of August the 15th that Chuck Schumer set today, that there'll be a deluge of documents. Actually, there'll just be a deluge of more court cases.
Oftentimes, of course, litigation can happen. We have a case going on.
Well, Alex Stein's a friend of mine, Cold C. What do you want me to do? You want me to disown Alex Stein? Cold C? Do I got to disown Alex Stein now?
Right now on behalf of Virginia Giuffre, where we're seeking the unsealing of many documents from her case, and that has extended for many years. We recently got a success before the Second Circuit, but again, it has taken a tremendous amount of time to disclose that information. So I'm hopeful with this new move that we will see some, faster traction, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you think it could be realistically this year, or do you think we'll have to wait more years?
I think we'll certainly see something this year. I mean, you have both sides of the government pushing for different things. So I think we will see some disclosures coming up. And certainly in those for example, the other civil case, I think we will see some disclosures. I mean, the public is demanding answers. So the government is going to have to answer to them. So I do.
You're going to break it into multiple parts, hate speak? Let's see. I want to see what you say, dude.
I think things will start to move a little bit swifter.
I mean, if you're having solutions, at least you're getting to the fucking core of the matter. Because that's really what it is. We're trying to solve problems here. Anybody can point out the fucking problem. So yeah, let me hear it, bro.
I mean,
it'd be nice.
The public might want to see the answers, but actually there are laws that protect people's privacy and people's reputations. Do you not think maybe sometimes the public have to be told, no, you don't have a right to know that?
Well, there's certainly a balance there. And of course, on behalf of the survivors, we have dedicated a significant amount of time trying to ensure that their information is protected. But underlying that, to have a full closure of this information is really a travesty of justice because it's hiding the perpetrators of these crimes. So the information does need to get disclosed.
I mean, Sigrid, no one knows this case better than you. What's your understanding of what these so-called Epstein files actually are? What could they be?
They have a tremendous amount of information in them.
Hate speaker Sargon Novak had super chatted $2. We're witnessing an awakening to outside influence.
I agree with that. I think people are waking up to that. And I think there are fucking forces trying to get us to not focus on the horror of a government we have and try to fucking make it into a fucking racist style argument to discredit anybody who wants to address that. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
For example, it shows who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying him, email traffic, who he was emailing with regularly, and about what. I mean, they have a tremendous amount of information at their fingertips that really tells the story.
People are reacting to outsiders and insiders getting preference. Yep, people are definitely pissed off about it. No doubt about it.
Of how he operated for so many years successfully without being put in prison.
I mean, don't we kind of know that already?
We know some of that. I mean, we know some of that, but we don't know all of the who, what, why, where, when, right? And that's the reason why, most recently, the government has taken this action, because there is a tremendous amount of information that the public does not know. So certainly I, as a litigant in those cases where there were protective orders, know a lot of information, but that has not been disclosed to the public. So this is the one way that the public can actually have a full understanding of who was involved, what happened, why it happened, all of those things.
Can you imagine a situation, though, where the documents are suppressed, but you presumably had access to them? You could put that information out there and just argue that it's in the public interest.
Well, really, in the United States, we're obviously restricted by certain laws, and particularly me as a lawyer, so I'm bound by the court orders that I have to follow. So I'm not in a position to be able to do that, but that's why the government is taking certain steps to try to reveal the underlying information.
Understood. Right. The developments today about Ghislaine Maxwell and whether she's going to testify to this congressional committee. Do you think can you imagine a day where she is talking to them? It's on the record. We can all watch it.
I'm not really sure that will ever happen. And I'm frankly not sure that she should be given a microphone for that. I mean, certainly this is somebody who has been charged with the government for perjury time and again. I deposed her multiple times where she committed perjury in those depositions, one question after the next. So why we would be holding our breath to hear from somebody who's a known perjurer, a known liar, really is perplexing to me. She's not the person who would reveal all of that information. It's really, what you can see in the documents, what you can.
The Nick trolls are finally gone. No, they won't go, G-Lo. They're going to be here. They're going to be hanging out. They're mad. Hate speaker.
Hate speaker Sargon Novak had super chatted $5. The racism is a stand-in for values. It's a gut reaction.
Yeah, it's very normal for humans to revert to tribalism. That's why you need to have I don't know, you need smarter people to really fucking get people on the ball of what is worth focusing on. At this point, do we need to go full tribalist and just be obsessed with race? Is that going to solve the problem? No, it's not going to solve the problem. It's just
the
a fucking
request super chatted.
Just gets us sidetracked.
Hate speaker sounds feds trying to be cool with kids.
Hate speaker sounds feds trying to be cool with kids. I don't know, man. I'm interested in hearing solutions from people. I think there's more time needs to be put, more people need to put more time into how do we fix the problem? Anybody can call it out, dude. Anybody can go, oh, this sucks. Yeah, you could say this sucks all day and people will be like, yeah, you're right, this sucks. I like you. Or we both agree this sucks. What are the solutions? So at least if he's trying to do that, I got to give him credit. Pink Trip wants to know if this was your most super chatted live stream, even though you know who isn't here with his wild super chats. No, this is not the most. I think the most super chatted stream I got was when I covered the ICE protests.
Hate speaker Sargon Novak had super chatted $5. You're having a reaction to that discontent like it's a fully formed ideology or religious doctrine.
I mean, look at every time I talk about it, how all these people show up. It's very convenient. When you try to talk America first, and it's been happening since 2018. Back then it was GDL, the Goyim Defense League. They love these people. They love to focus on smaller channels that they can overrun with their little bot army and make it all about the Jews. It's very convenient. It's very convenient how every time you talk America first, these people show up to pollute the message. So yeah, it's okay. Maybe it's not a fucking organized movement, but it's a bunch of retards. And if we allow retards like that to start having a large voice in the movement's done. It's done.
You can see in his electronic files. That's where you can find the answers.
And if we do end up in a situation where she's either granted immunity from further...
Yeah, P-Money. I mean, I'm talking about Nick Fuentes. Of course I'm going to put him in the title. Should I not put him in the title if I'm talking about him? Should I just not, give so people know what the fuck I'm talking about?
Jet super chatted.
I don't know if it's the answer. It's what they want.
I overlords is the only real answer, and it's exactly what they want.
It is exactly what they want. I don't know if it is the real answer.
McCur super chatted $1.99. Find out who your representatives are and call them.
Yeah, it would be nice if people got more serious about local politics again. Thank you.
Leica's Revenge super chatted $2. Is the Federal Reserve federal Bing?
No, it's independent. It's an independent. What does that matter, though? What's your point? Where's your solution? Do you have a solution, Leica? Because I'd get rid of the Federal Reserve if that's one of your solutions. Yeah, I'd like to get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Hate speaker Sargon Navakad super chatted $5. The trouble you're having is that you're fighting this trend when it is human nature. You're pushing back on feelings.
Okay, I agree with that. I can see what you're. I wouldn't say I agree with that, but I see what your point is. I think that's a genuine point. People are being emotional and just reacting. You know, they're in their feelings and not thinking logically, and they're not thinking about problem solving. They're just angry and venting. But yeah, I don't like that message being pushed among America First, because, like I've said 100 times now, it will discredit the movement. It will make it so that America First becomes a thing of the past very quickly. And it's perfect for the establishment that probably fears America First more than any other fucking movement among the people right now, because America First is the only movement where you hear people that have a message similar to mine, which is a true small government message, which is a true message of returning to the fucking the vision our founding fathers had. And I think that's something that they're actually terrified of. So yeah, this is why they come after us so hard. This is why they want us to be labeled domestic terrorists. This is why they want us to be labeled Nazis. They've tried so hard to label us Nazis for the last 10 fucking years. And now conveniently, here comes Nick Fuentes, sounding exactly like a Nazi. And then everybody's gonna push him up and go, oh, this is the smart guy. This is he's so smart and wise. And then, here comes all the clips of him sounding like a Nazi to discredit everybody. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong, guys. That's possible. I don't think I am. Anyway, yeah, well, what else do we have here? Do you guys want to watch it? I guess we'll watch this so I can get it done with. I saw this the other day. Bill Burr is trying to claim he's not woke. And according to Bill Burr, like everybody's, it's an expert class argument. Basically, we're all too stupid to understand anything. So just listen to the experts. Well, let's play this and then we'll get out of here.
I mean, and they hook up with the pharmaceutical people. Like your job is to go out here and eat poison, get sick, buy the drugs, stay alive long enough, make your claim.
Didn't I have that clip? Someone's talking about Nick hating on his. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is one of the. Thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot about that. Nick hating on his blue collar workers is worse than his racist shit, in my opinion. Well, I think they're both bad. They're both not helpful to the movement. So yeah, Nick's whole thing against Tucker was like, oh, Tucker hates poor people. I'm one of you. I'm poor like you. This guy has been talking shit about how much he hates poor people forever. Right? Let's play it.
The people of this country are furious. They don't like my hatred for the poor. They don't like that.
No, K7 Gixer 1000. FEMA funds should not be tied to allegiance with Israel. In fact, we should probably step back from all of our fucking foreign deals right now. I don't know how you do it, but you need some sort of reform. But clearly, we have a government that is selling out this country to any foreign interest who's willing to take part, who's willing to fucking grease their hands. And we got to put a stop to that. Doesn't matter if it's Israel, if it's China, if it's Saudi Arabia, if it's the EU. We have to stop our politicians from being a bunch of fucking crooks selling out this country to foreign interests left and right. Okay? Very easy to put that in a way that's not the Jews.
Speaker Sargon Navakad super chatted $5. Those people you are talking about are the common man. You're seeing they are endless. They are the people. Dumb, sure, but our people.
Yeah, and then you got Nick Fuentes becoming their leader to make them even dumber and to just push them in a direction that's not going to be helpful to them or the fucking movement that they claim to care about. Right? So it's very convenient that they managed to get this fucking retard in charge of that movement. So that these people, I mean, it probably would have happened anyway, because he's telling them what they want to hear. But yeah, no, I get your point, but I still haven't seen a solution yet. But your points are valid. People are angry, they're emotional, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, what's your solution?
That, and I don't know why.
I mean, solutions are hard. I know it sounds so easy to say, give me a solution, but it's hard to have a solution. Solutions are difficult.
I don't get it. but I don't care because I do fucking hate the poor. And I hate poor people and I hate poverty. And I'm sick of lying about it. I'm not going to pretend that I don't, okay? I love the rich. I don't have any animosity for the rich men of America, okay? The people of this country.
So yeah, he's joking though, guys. It's just a joke. That's what anytime he says some shit like this, you know, when he tells his audience to pledge to murder, rape, and die for him, that's all a joke, guys. It's all a joke. Right? All right, y'all. We'll end it here. We're over 2 hours. Thank you guys for showing up. Even the Groypers. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. And everybody else, thank you so much for the super chats. You guys were very generous tonight. I appreciate you. And on the way out, if you enjoyed the stream, smash the thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, if you want to debate a bunch of bots in the comment section, hang out till after the show. They'll be showing up. There'll be plenty of bots to debate with. Anyway, take care, y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified.